My name is Shannon. I am 33 years old. I was raised in Fort Myers, Florida. Around 8 or 9 years old, my family started falling apart. My dad was having an extramarital affair. My mom took me and we moved to Florida. And she was a bartender, so she worked all the time. So I found myself alone at 11 years old with no parental guidance, no one home, no one to talk to, no one checking on me. I was pretty much able to do whatever I want, and that's when I got introduced to marijuana. It didn't take long for me to be doing ecstasy and snorting cocaine and drinking alcohol every single day. I started not going to school, sneaking out late at night, not coming home for days. I met an older guy who was an alcoholic. He was definitely taking advantage of me and my vulnerability, which I didn't know, but I got pregnant at 15. And I had my first child. By the time my son was 1, his father was in prison. So I ended up losing that child. I started taking pain pills and Xanax. I started getting addicted to that. I lose my other children. I couldn't even be what they needed. But I was so broken and lost, I wasn't able to be a mother, despite how badly I wanted to be. That's when I pretty much completely just gave up, and I started smoking crack cocaine and shooting IV heroin. I started prostituting. I stood on a corner, sold my body, went to the dope man, and did it all over again. I was 90 pounds. I never ate. I slept behind a store on the ground. I hated what I was doing. I hated the people that I was interacting with. I hated what I did to myself, but I could not stop doing it. I had no hope of ever being able to stop getting high. I knew a guy who sold heroin, and I went and got a lethal dose on purpose. When I injected it, I felt myself slowly dying. I was like, yes. This is it, relief, And then I woke up. And when I woke up, I cried. I said, why am I still here? Why am I still here? I cannot do this anymore. A few days later, I got arrested in a prostitution sting. Within 21 days, I got placed in the Teen Challenge. I entered into the program, broken in every sense. I had no hope for life. I had never knew the Lord before that point. I had never read a Bible. I'd never stepped foot in a church. But the first thing that Teen Challenge did was handed me a Bible. When I started reading that, the Lord comes to save people. Like, that's what He does. It gave me hope in that. One of the first sermons I ever saw was by Tony Evans, and it was on Rahab and how she was a prostitute and how the Lord, she was faithful to the Lord, so He's faithful to her, and He saved her. I cried. I was, that let me know if He did it for her, He could do it for me too. I got in trouble a number of times. I actually even relapsed at one point in my program, and Teen Challenge didn't give up on me. They did nothing but love on me and said, it's okay, we're gonna do it again. We're going to start over from this point. They showed me who Jesus was through their love. I kept hearing things I didn't understand, like His grace, His mercy, His unconditional love. I think it's a totally different thing when you experience it for yourself. I experienced a love I never had known before. No one ever came to look for me in my addiction. Ever. The Lord ministered to me and He spoke to me. He said, it doesn't matter where you go and how much you run, you are mine, and I'm always going to look for you. I'm always going to chase you. I'm always going to find you. I'm no longer the person I was 3 years ago. I don't think the same. I don't act the same. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter how many times you've been to jail. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried to get your life together. Anything's possible with the Lord.